Hello everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's episode and welcome to my channel. In today's story, OP, also known as Jess, reaches out to Reddit to ask if she's the a-hole for wanting to try bananas while she's pregnant. Seems like a pretty straightforward story, right? But it's so much worse than you think. I do hope that you enjoy the story. If you do, please leave a thumbs up. And again, I just wanted to take a second and thank everyone who's subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much, you guys are so amazing. And for those of you that don't know, I have a personal goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. So if you like my content and would like to support me, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button. It goes a long way. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and on to the story. Am I the a-hole for having a craving of something that makes my partner sick? A 25-year-old female, recently found out that I was pregnant with my partner, a 26-year-old male, Lyle's baby. We've been together for 3 years and we live together. Lyle has ADHD, which he refuses to get treatment or medication for. He's pretty normal about 85% of the time, so I haven't really pushed it. One thing that really affects him though is sensory problems. He has a few, but the biggest one is bananas. He cannot stand the smell of a banana or the taste of banana. He's accidentally eaten something with banana before and ran to the bathroom like a child to throw it up. If we are somewhere and someone is eating a banana, he'll claim that he can smell it in the room and make us move with the threat that he will get sick. If we don't move, he will start gagging, make himself throw up, and I've seen him start shaking too. This has happened in public before and it's extremely embarrassing. Anyway, let me tell you what happened. I was really tired, pregnant and hormonal yesterday, and while I was watching my show I had a craving for a banana, which I normally avoid when around Lyle, but pregnancy cravings are just too strong to resist. He was going to get groceries from work, so I called and asked him to get some bananas because I was having a craving. He started begging me before he even got them to not eat them in the house, and I just got fed up and told him no, that I was carrying around his child and the least he could do about it, since he's not the one who's having to nurture the damn thing in his stomach, was to get me a banana. I'd read online that this was probably the baby's way of telling me that it's deficient in potassium, and that all I could really stand to eat at this point was the damn banana, and I don't want to deprive it of what it needs. He argued back and forth, asking me to go eat it outside at least, and out of frustration I just started crying, which made me feel embarrassed. He finally gave in to calm me down and brought it home. I'll admit, I was really mad and upset from our argument on the phone when he came home, and I, in that moment, couldn't face getting up and going to the kitchen. When he came into the living room and sat on the couch, I asked him to peel it, cut it, and bring it to me. I really didn't think that was a big deal, but he blew up at me and told me that I knew it would make him sick to even smell or touch it. I told him that plenty of people have foods that they don't like, and he either needs to grow up or seek help for his illness because he's acting like a child and his problem with bananas is completely abnormal. We argued a bit more and he finally got up, yelled that he was quote-unquote tired of my actions and left the house. He hasn't been back yet. I get that his issues are a sensitive topic for him, and when I was talking to my friend about it, she said that she has an autistic sister and what I did was a bit messed up. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? The overwhelming verdict was you're the a-hole. One Redditor said, not the a-hole until the last paragraph. Yes, he should be seeking help for his medical issues, but he's still compromised and brought something for you that you know for a fact triggered his issues. There is zero excuse to force him to cut and peel the banana for you. Yes, pregnancy is hard and you need support during this time, but he supported you by getting you the banana. You decided to get petty and go the extra mile. For that, you're the a-hole. To which the OP replies, did he really support me though if he only did it because he felt bad for making me cry? Another Redditor said, you're the a-hole. Cravings and pregnancy don't give you the right to treat your partner so horribly. If you think he's such a child and exaggerating his sensory issues, why did you choose to have a child with him in the first place? To which OP responded, The child wasn't planned, he just got me pregnant. Now, OP's boyfriend found the Reddit post and decided to give their point of view. They respond as, Kyle, not Lyle. Hey guys, it's Kyle here, Jessica's boyfriend. Yes, she literally changed my name from Kyle to Lyle and thought that that was good enough. One of her friends sent me this and I wanted to set the record straight because I am beyond pissed off. First of all, I want to address this, quote-unquote, refuse to get treatment or medication comment. I was diagnosed with ADHD as a child. It took until college to realize that I needed to adapt things to how my brain worked, rather than slap a medication over it and try to pretend like I'm neurotypical. I adapted well in life. I graduated on the dean's list in college, and I'm doing well at my dream job and thriving as a neurodivergent person. Do I still forget about the laundry sometimes or have a hard time focusing on certain things, especially when I'm tired? Yes, and it pisses Jess off. Does it mean that I have issues? F no. This medication BS started almost immediately after we found out that Jess was pregnant like a month ago. It was an approach like, hey Kyle, I notice XYZ that seems to be hard for you. I think you need help with that. I was instead asked if my ADHD was going to spread to the baby. Literally, the term spread was used. And second, told that I should probably take this as a chance to get it under control because she, quote-unquote, didn't want the baby to grow up dealing with any problems. Now, let's get to the sensory aversions. I've been through therapy to manage it. I can now, after years, touch paper towels without my gums hurting, but bananas I just cannot deal with. People who aren't neurodivergent and don't deal with sensory aversions don't understand that it's literally physically painful in many cases and genuinely makes me sick. I don't quote-unquote make myself throw up. My body naturally reacts like that. Jess has told me many times how embarrassed she is by it and how it affects her, and her solution is exposure therapy. What she doesn't understand is that's essentially the same thing as torture to me. There are some cases, like paper towels, where I've realized that it's just a little too common, but bananas aren't common enough for me to sit there and torture myself just to make her feel less embarrassed next time she wants me to try a smoothie her sister makes and lie about the ingredients. Finally, other details that I think are important. I'm just going to bullet these because I'm going to write too much otherwise. Jess wanted to watch a show on Netflix and wanted me to bring her a banana while she was watching the show on the couch. We're in a one-bedroom apartment and the smell would probably be there for at least a day. We had gotten in an argument about my ADHD and me not having meds the day before, so this didn't seem like a sudden craving but more of a cruel jab since it was still tense. The pregnancy wasn't planned, and no, random commenter, I did not take advantage of her. She was on birth control and it failed. She wasn't quote-unquote too sick to get up. She was too lazy and pissed and told me to go cut it for her because I just want to watch my show in peace. I'll admit, I snapped when she insisted I cut the banana and to do, quote-unquote, just this one thing for our child to show I care. As if she didn't go out and quit her job pretty much immediately without telling me, and I'm now dealing with all of the household expenses while she shops. I've also been caring for most of the house because she's already claimed being too pregnant from morning sickness, so yeah, I was fed up with her stuff. ADHD is not an issue, it just means my brain works a little different. I'm so tired of this ableist stuff that comes from nowhere. Too long didn't read? Get over yourself. In response to someone asking for more details about OP quitting her job, Kyle says, she was on the pill and it failed. I do contribute. The same week we found out, I came home from work one day and she announced that she'd quit her job so that she can be a mom. No conversation, nothing. Just decided to stop contributing financially. She sits at home all day and watches Netflix and occasionally goes out with her friends, and I work all day and also try to tackle the chores. In response to OP's comments about Kyle's treatment, Kyle says, so my ADHD is treated, just not to my girlfriend's liking. I've worked a lot on adaptation and I do well and I'm successful in what I do. On the contrary, Jess sits on the couch and does nothing all day. I have a history of reacting poorly to medication too. The sensory aversions are very difficult to get rid of, and vague quote-unquote treatment isn't a magic solution or guarantee that it'll just go away. This all started after she got pregnant and did a 180 as far as personality goes. Suddenly it became all about how I'm going to spread it to my child and make their lives awful. All because I can't deal with bananas and I sometimes forget to change out the laundry or reply to a text. In response to taking medications, Kyle says, "Medicine doesn't work with me. I've tried them since I was a kid. Sure made me high as F though. Imagine spending middle and high school stoned up to effing God. What did work was a specialist who taught me how to adapt to the world around me by doing things like dividing tasks, keeping things in the same place, and things like that. All of this started when Jess got pregnant. Suddenly I had issues that would be spread to the baby and I needed to get them fixed. Her solution to my sensory aversion is heavy medication and exposure therapy." In response to someone mentioning therapy, Kyle says, "To clarify, I'm not in therapy. There are sensory aversions I've worked through at one point or another. I've seen specialists in the past and still utilize those strategies to stay productive, and I obviously have a regular doctor like everyone else does. But just because I have ADHD doesn't mean that I need a constant therapist. But after this goddamn drama mess, I might effing need one." In response to someone mentioning potential treatment options, Kyle says, "To people without ADHD, treatment means that I sit in a room where they make me touch a banana and then we talk about it for 30 minutes and then they stone me up on sun bennies till I can't walk straight. ADHD treatment really looks like talking to a specialist, figuring out how to adapt and be productive, and then applying those skills long term. I see my PCP once a year and that's about it right now, but I've been doing well. Unfortunately, there's nothing that'll ever fix the banana problem, nor is there really a need to just quote-unquote suck it up and try to work through it like with some other aversions." Someone asked Kyle why he and Jess were still together. "Literally everything was fine and Jess wasn't like this until she got pregnant and suddenly did a 180 on the personality. It's been a month and it's just gone downhill. She wanted to keep the kid and what can I effing do about that? Regardless, I think that I'll be leaving." So guys, what did you think about this? Please let me know in the comments down below. I am personally infuriated, like the galls of Jess. Seriously. Her ableism is very offensive and just goes to show how ignorant she is. I also genuinely feel sorry for the baby to be. Like, given Jess's aversion to neurodivergent behaviors, and given the fact that these behaviors do tend to have a genetic component, there is a possibility that the baby-to-be is going to be on the spectrum. And I really feel sorry for the baby already. Like, imagine having to grow up with a mother like that. I hope that everything does end up being okay. It looks like towards the end, Kyle was pretty adamant about leaving Jess, and they haven't updated since then, so I'm going to call it a wrap for that. I wish Kyle and their baby the best of luck in the future. I do hope that you enjoyed this story. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and please subscribe if you'd like to hear more stories from Reddit with updates.